Today we'll be reading grain descriptions from the Adaptive Seeds 2021 catalog.
Seedy Shorts.
Purple Valley barley. Great in soups, whole grain salads, or try as a substitute for arborio rice in risotto. Purple Valley barley is hull-less, meaning that the hull falls off naturally during harvest, resulting in edible whole grain barley. We recommend lightly toasting barley in a dry pan until it begins to pop or smell like toast. Then cook just like brown rice. You end up with a fairly firm texture with a delightful, rich, nutty flavor. This variety is 6-row and is less prone to lodging than Tibetan and other purple hull-less barleys, which it may have been selected from. Best sown in spring. After many years of selection here in the Willamette Valley, this variety was evaluated by Pat Hayes, barley breeder at Oregon State University. He suggested changing the name to Purple Valley to differentiate it from Purple Prairie and other purple barley varieties, aka Purple Hull-less Improved. Seed produced by Lonesome Whistle Farm in Junction City, Oregon.
Dragon's Claw Millet. Aptly named, Dragon's Claw is a unique and fun millet with panicles that are shaped like a hand with up to 8 fingers pointed up to the sky. Would make a neat addition to autumn bouquets. The birds in our field left this one alone, preferring pretty much every other crop, which is surprising because the seed smells delicious like malted barley. Since it is a new crop for us here, maybe the birds haven't figured it out yet. Short for a millet, plants grow to 18 inches. Originated as a food crop in the Ethiopian and Ugandan highlands, although now grown all over the world. Finger millet is especially valued in dry, hot climates where it is ground into flour and made into cakes, porridge, and fermented into beer. As with all millets, it is difficult to hull, so it is most often milled into flour, aka ragi, African finger millet.
Hell's Canyon millet. This is an awesome foxtail millet. Beautiful, dense, fingery heads are a reddish brown. Leaves and stalks are purple-streaked green. Tolerates cooler summers. Very productive, easy to hand harvest if you can get to it before the birds, and gorgeous in flower arrangements. Plants grow to 6 feet tall. From Don Kluver, who gardens in Hell's Canyon off the Snake River, via a Seed Savers Exchange member in Idaho.
Sussex flax. A fairly tall flax at about 3 feet that is good for fiber production. The brown seeds are noteworthy for their high alpha-linoleic acid and omega-3 fatty acid content, as tested by the Irish Seed Savers Association. 18 varieties were tested with polyunsaturated fat percentages between 28 and 75%, and Sussex had the highest. Many Western diets are deficient in omega-3 and excessive in omega-6. Balancing this ratio could offer many health benefits, including battling depression and mood disorders. A heritage English flax linseed from Sussex that came to us via the Irish Seed Savers Association.
Hungarian blue breadseed poppy. Blue breadseed type. The light blue seeds of this variety have a delicious nutty flavor. With stunning dark purple petals, Hungarian blue breadseed poppy also makes a beautiful ornamental, especially when a patch or field is flowering all together. This Hungarian heritage variety is super easy to grow and a highly nutritious staple food. We are not the only ones who find the flowers captivating. Bees, especially bumblebees, go nuts over them. The pods do not shatter like most poppies, making it very easy to hand harvest seeds. Dried pods are also very nice in floral arrangements. Seed produced by Twisp River Seed in Twisp, Washington.
M61 perennial sorghum. We received this beautiful grain from our friend Tim Peters back in 2005 when we drove around the back roads of Douglas County, Oregon, collecting samples from his guerrilla perennial grain breeding projects. We saw many perennialized clumps growing back year after year and were intrigued. Although we have succeeded growing M61 perennial as an annual, we have struggled to produce it as a true perennial. However, we know it is possible under the right conditions, because our friend Nate Kleinman of the Experimental Farm Network has successfully grown this variety as a perennial in New Jersey. M61 perennial sorghum is believed to have been selected from an interspecific hybrid between sorghum bicolor and sorghum halepense. Some plants have plump, light orange, easy-to-thresh grain, while others have a more tightly clasping gloom and may be optimally used for cover crop and/or compost biomass production. Sorghum originated in Africa and typically has been produced as an annual. As a grain, it is one of the most important food crops on the planet. We are very grateful to be able to pass this experimental grain with permaculture potential on to others. Please let us know how it grows for you.
Chadmo quinoa. Cream brown seed. This variety was shared with our friend Dan Armstrong at the 2013 International Quinoa Symposium at Washington State University, who passed it on to us the following year. Out of the 7 varieties Dan trialed, Chadmo stood out for both vigor and yield. Originally from the island of Chiloé, off the coast of Chile, Chadmo seems more well-adapted to growing at low elevations than most of the other varieties of quinoa which hail from high in the Andes. In trials through the University of Buenos Aires, Chadmo showed strong resistance to pre-harvest sprouting, seed dormancy in seed head, most likely an adaptation to being from a humid, temperate climate. Chiloé is also at a similar latitude, 41 to 43 degrees south, to Oregon at 42 to 46 degrees north, which may contribute to its easy success here. Hooray for coastal adaptation! Check out Dan's 2014 quinoa experiment results at mudcitypress.com/beanandgrain20.html.
Dave 407 quinoa. Our favorite quinoa, because of its unique history and excellent performance here in the Willamette Valley. Golden orange seeds, 4 to 5 feet tall plants with seed heads that turn vivid orange when ripe. High yielding compared to other quinoa grown in low elevations. Short season. Open seed head shed late season damp weather. Collected in southern Chile and named after quinoa collector and advocate David Cusack, who was murdered in Bolivia in 1984. There is anecdotal evidence that he was murdered by business interests that felt threatened by the solidarity amongst quinoa-growing campesinos. Others believe he was murdered due to his activism and research surrounding the CIA's role in the overthrow of Chilean President Salvador Allende. All very mysterious.
Seedy Shots.